What is up, everyone? Welcome to a new video, and today we are talking about how to make reading a habit. This is a question where I struggled a bit because at some point in my life I wanted to make reading a habit in my life. The only time I ever read was for school, and I wanted to change that. So in today's video I'm going to share with you some tips that I found for myself on the internet from different people that I found working for myself, and in the hope that they will work for you. The first tip is get rid of distractions. Everyone will have a specific distraction in their life. For most of us, the common distraction is our cell phone. Get rid of it when you try to read. Put it in a place somewhere else and sit on the opposite side of the room when you are trying to read, so that it makes it easier to start reading and to stay reading. The second tip that I had is to always carry a book. Even if you are a student or if you are working a job, you always have some time during the day. Maybe if you take the bus, maybe if you're on break at your job, there's always a period of time where you do nothing, and usually you just go and scroll on your phone. Maybe it's Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever app you use to scroll around. This is ideal time to maybe read 5 or 10 minutes. And if you do this every day, it might even be very easy to also implement that at home. Put it next to bed. This is a tip that I generally use. It's always next to my bed, and so if I go to sleep, I'll read a few pages before going to bed. When I try to enter the bed, when I try to enter the room, I always see the book laying there, and it always reminds me, okay, I want to read a few pages because I want the habit of reading a book every day. In my experience with this tip is that I also slept better because I read before going to sleep. The next tip is have a reminder on your phone. Maybe you have a busy schedule, maybe you are just a busy person, maybe you are a forgetful person like me in the early days. I always used to be like, I want to build this habit, but then only at the end of the day, when I didn't have any time, I thought like, oh, I wanted to read today. That's why it's very convenient for people like me or maybe like you to put a reminder in your phone, maybe during the day, to make time to read or to read at the exact moment you put the reminder at, so that you get reminded of reading and that you have this habit of reading at a specific hour. That might help. Read things you are interested in. I feel like this is a very obvious tip, but in the beginning I struggled a bit with this. Because I wanted to read, I just took a book from my parents' bookshelf and I started reading whatever I grabbed. And because most of the book my parents read are fiction books, I didn't really find myself interested in reading. Now that I found my interest in book, in usually like self-help books, money books, those kind of things, self-improvement books, those are my kind of interests. And because my parents didn't have any books in those categories at the moment, I didn't feel any interest into going to reading. But because I found it now, I usually read a lot more. Because I'm interested in the subject, it's very easy for me to stay reading. Build it around a good habit. What do I mean by that? In the beginning of how I tried reading as a habit, I always told myself, whenever I brushed my teeth in the morning, I would then read. So after a few weeks, after I brushed my teeth, I would have the association to then read a book. In my opinion, this is also a very good technique. You could also bind it to brushing your teeth in the evening. Let's say you brush your teeth in the evening, you went to get into bed, and then you read. It's the same association, it's the same habit. It's a habit you usually always already do every day, so it's very easy to then stick those two habits next to each other, bind them together, and make it a habit out of reading. And then my last tip is try to plan some kind of reading moment throughout your day. Again, you might be a very busy person, you might be a forgetful person, but if you know for yourself, okay, I'll be at home at 6, I'll have dinner at 7, and then I'll be doing nothing at 8, for example. At 8, I'll take 10, 20, 30 minutes, whatever you want to do, of course. I'll then read. You'll plan yourself the moment, you'll know at that time I'm going to read, and then whatever I want to do for the rest of the day I can do after that. I want to watch TV, I'll watch TV after I read the book. after I read a few pages in the book. Of course, all of these tips might not work. Some of them worked very well for me, some of them didn't really work for me. It's something you should try as a person and see what kind of tips do work for me. Then I hope one of these tips will help you, and if one of them did, I'm very happy. So I hope you liked the video and I hope to see you next time. Bye guys.